So the original version of this video I've taken down due to the fact that this woman's getting too much abuse. Doesn't matter what she did. The point of this video was to show what happened, not incite a war back, which is basically what's happened. And that makes us no better than her. So I've edited the video, I've taken her name out, it's still the same video, it just, you won't actually see her details, and please leave her alone now. She's had a roasting. Jesus Christ, she's had a roasting. Yeah, just bear in mind the message of the video, and let's not incite any more hate, please. When I started recording this video, its aim was to show our version of our isolation, where we took ourselves away from society, out of any danger, and was just going to wait it out. We were bunkering down in the wild with enough provisions to see us through for 8 weeks. We weren't going to be travelling anywhere, we weren't even going to be showing where we were, just documenting our version of isolation through this horrible situation that we're all in. Considering we don't have homes to go to, we just had to get ourselves out of the way. Unfortunately, as you'll see through this video, things deteriorated pretty quickly, and we weren't able to do this thanks to a small minority of disgusting people. We were receiving abuse like we've never seen before on every conceivable platform, right up to actual death threats, meaning we had to abandon our isolation through fear, halfway through our quarantine, and seek refuge at somewhere else. I see lights!
Yay! Your destination is on the right.
Alright, do it, yeah man, everything's all bloody frosty, innit?
Yeah, it wasn't this cold last night.
No? Oh, no handshakes. How's it going, mate? Whoa, okay. Good boy. Right, we'll get parked up, doggy, and then you can get out. Ow, come on, down.
Tuck in here, won't you?
Yeah, I'll get in there. Oh! Right. Engine off. Phone off. Oh, hey, a bosk. Oh. Moron, get down. Oh, let's see what we got. Oh, mate, the stars. Shit.
Northern Lights are over there.
You joking?
No.
So down there is a lock.
I might have had a bit of a meltdown on Amazon.
Oh, really? Oh, yes. We shall see tomorrow what the place looks like. As beautiful as this spot was, it's not why we chose it, and it's not why I'm showing it you now. It's to show just how far out the way we were. This spot was picked more so because it was so far away from everything. It was the most secluded spot that was of no tourist interest, had no villages, anything nearby. There was a stream nearby, meaning we had a water source that with sterilisation and filtration we could drink from. We were in the woods, so any dead wood we could collect and burn for heat. We could also walk out into the woods and bury our mess. Not rubbish, just mess. Any of our rubbish like cardboard that was burnable would be going in the log burners, and everything else was compressed down to its smallest possible size and stored. We'd be taking it with us as and when this thing settled down. So that was our plan, stay here away from absolutely everything and just wait it out. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. Got a bit of freedom again. You can roam around all where you want here. Yes, you can. See, Lance has had a trim again. Oh, that's it. Show everyone. Yeah, he was getting a bit matted and a bit knotted and coming out here and being out here for a while. I thought he needs to get done. And now he's getting himself all covered in shit again. You an arsehole. Some dirty bastards come and fly tipped all this, which is not really good. However, if things do start to get a bit dicey, I've got a load of veg seeds, so we can go and get some soil in all of these and make ourselves a veg patch. So we'll upcycle this mess.
What's that really shit American zombie movie where they're stuck in the shopping mall? You never seen it? And they're shouting over to the guy in the gun shop and they're on the roof like, ah, ah.
Due to Ash being high risk and due to the guidelines, we set ourselves a 2-week quarantine period between our group. So this is about as far as we got. Socialising wise, it was like a bloody zombie apocalypse. But we understood it as necessary, so stuck to it. Staying in the vans, cooking our own food, keeping ourselves to ourselves, and keeping occupied, like doing things on the vans. Taking the dogs for a walk separately on our one allocated outing for exercise. I'd even set aside a plan to learn Portuguese. Just up in the still not fully finished pod, but here it is. I'm trying to figure out what to do. There's a lot of hype coming about, a lot of anger online about people being in Scotland who aren't meant to be in Scotland, but it is just hype and it is just fear from people. Assuming the worst from others, because that's what people do in the UK, especially under situations like this where there's no guidebook, there's no best way to do things, everyone's just a bit scared, and the media's really not helping that, as always. We're not sure whether to hit the border, despite the fact we're now not supposed to be moving. We're just getting concerned about if we get stuck here and the reception that the Scottish seem to be having towards campers. They're not going to know the difference between us who are trying to do this properly and people who are just trying to make a holiday because they got off work. But 2 times now there's been a truck gone past and he hasn't done anything, hasn't said anything. But with all hostility going on online, you're just constantly on edge. Earlier on we heard a plane and we're like, oh, we'll get the dogs inside in case it kicks off. Which I constantly trying to remind myself that likely isn't to happen because most normal people are decent people. And I think this guy in the truck that keeps going past is a decent person. He's obviously something to do with the Forestry Commission. He's got a light on top of his roof. But he's just drove past and drove back again. Not even flinched at us. So maybe he gets it. Maybe he's like, well, they're just out. They haven't moved. Leave them be. I always try and look at the positives for that sort of stuff. And my Europe trip showed me just that most people are just good. I think Ash is struggling to see that side a little bit, but because he's been doing the daily videos, he's getting a lot of abuse to the point he's had to turn his comments off, and now people are going out on Facebook and actually emailing him direct to just hurl abuse at him, which is a shame because at the end of the day, we're just trying to escape. We're just doing what we think's best. We don't have houses to go and hide up in. I personally feel this spot that we've found will be safe. But it's not just my decision, it's the group. And Ash is really struggling to come to grips with the idea of staying in Scotland. With some of the stuff that's been said to him is pretty bad. There's a lot of threats. And that can't be good. Apparently a lot of them are aimed at the group, they're aimed at me. I don't read them. I understand that there's some lovely people in the world, there's also some shit people in the world, and there's also just some people that have been dealt a bad hand at life and they're angry, and it's easy to have a go at an anonymous person on the internet anonymously. They don't know who I am, they don't know who Ash is, they don't know who Marie is. But when you all boil it down, We are just people trying to do what we think's best in our situation, which is to just get out the way of everything. I just hope people calm down a little bit and realise we're all just in the same boat, every one of us. We're all a bit scared, and we all have very different circumstances. Probably not. This is it. About ready to roll out. We've had our plans scuppered by people of the internet, basically. Not just moans and threats, but actual physical threats of sending out witch hunts for us, basically. We feel like we just can't stay. Despite the fact, people are moaning about us infecting the local communities. There aren't any. We are in the middle of nowhere, and just to try and show you, that goes pretty far back. There's food under there, there's food up there, there's food everywhere. We didn't have to go anywhere. We could have maintained here for, I think we calculated 8 weeks individually. We've all got enough food. Fuel, the vans are totally fueled up, and we have log burners, so that's where our heat comes from, so we won't be burning fuel. Water, there's a lock there and there's a stream back there. We've got filtration and purification tablets. We didn't have to move anywhere. Now we have to go and enter society again to get out of Scotland, because we're basically being threatened with having our vans done in or getting battered, basically. Good luck finding us. The Facebook group that this delightful woman started, that I'll go into probably in a little bit later in the video, she got the wrong location. So, but we just don't feel like we can stay. It's just not good for us to be here panicking all the time. He's not. He's fine. Unfortunately, now he's not going to have this freedom. And our 2-week quarantine's got to reset, because we're now re-entering society. So, yeah, we have to do all that over again halfway through. So I know it's individuals, I know it's just arseholes, and I know so many of you sent really nice supportive comments and understood what we're trying to do. We're not on holiday. A few people who got in touch and offered us places, and then they've had to pull out because it's either like in the Lake District or the Peak District, and even there people are like going on this whole tribal, this is our area, you can't be here, you'll affect everything, get out. I know a lot of people come out in their camper vans to try and have a jolly, but we live in these things. Where do we go? We're being basically told we can't go anywhere. Feels great. No, looks like we're all clear. And with that, we made our way to the border. Quite a tense drive, although not too much drama. We had plenty of stares, a couple of middle fingers, and a lorry trying to sideswipe me, but other than that, it was hassle-free. We managed to get in touch with a lovely guy that offered to put us up on his private land where we'd be safe, so we made our way down there, but it was not close.
That's also happening.
I just thought I'd be so happy to see the England side.
I was just about to say that. It's now 12:30 at night. We've still got an hour to go. And hang on, traffic. Yeah, we've still got an hour to go before we get to this place where this guy's been nice enough to hold us up on short notice. Obviously we're tired. We've been driving all day and all night, but we can't just stop anywhere because we're not allowed. So I've got an hour left. Get there, sleep, and assess our new plan tomorrow. So our plan, as it was stated in some of Ash's videos, that we'd been planning for a long time, prepping for a long time. So if this thing does get bad, we were going to go to a remote location, as remote as we could possibly do it, and just sit it out. I had no intention of actually explaining where we were. To as far as I was concerned, we were at an undisclosed location, and that was that. So there was no glorifying, no kind of giving people any ideas, no any of that. And I mean, I understand that we're in a bit of a bad situation right now, and I understand that a lot of people are stuck in their house and frustrated and God knows what. But that's my point right there. You're in a house. We don't have houses. These are our houses. The last place we really want to be is in cities, towns, anything like that. So we picked a spot that was so remote and out of the way and not near any towns, any villages, any people. That to us was the best option. I mean, my van alone has like 8 weeks worth of food in it. So do the other guys. So individually we were set. And then we also set ourselves a 2-week quarantine from each other to make sure we had the all clear. Once the all clear was had, that doesn't mean we were going to go off on holiday. We were literally staying where we were, doing what the guidelines state and isolating. But a lot of people in Scotland have took it upon themselves to basically want to boot everyone out. And I get it, because there are people that are just going up there, part-timers who do have houses, who can stay at home, but they're seeing this as a big holiday, going around, going into shops, doing what they need to do. Idiots, frankly. But we've been dubbed in with them. And then because we're on YouTube, which, I mean, this point infuriates me, I'll get onto it in a second. Because we're on YouTube, we're classed as influencers, and we're going to try and say to everyone, hey guys, this is great, you should come and do this. No, that whole argument of, well, people will copy what you're doing. My response to that is the mother's age-old response of, well, if he jumped off a cliff, would you do it? What changed things was when a certain woman got onto Facebook extremely angry and started firing up a Facebook witch hunt, is the only explanation for it, plastering the same message over multiple Scottish Facebook groups, basically naming Ash, putting a photo up of his van. Me and Marie were mentioned in it as well, and the basic premise of it was find them and get them out. One of the groups that she posted it on had 20,000 followers, so this wasn't really a small deal. And then once that happened, things really started to hit the fan. We were getting death threats, constant barragements over all of the platforms, unbelievable amounts of hatred and violence, and just I can't actually believe there are people out there that say this sort of stuff. It's sickening. And from a country that we went to only last year and found just to be an absolutely fantastic country, this has kind of tainted it a bit. I believe a lot of the groups where it was posted on took them down. I'm told that she's been reported to the police for inciting violence and hate. Anyway, after all this kicked off, we just couldn't stay anymore. We had to bail, basically. So we went from being totally isolated. Damn it. So we went from being totally isolated, no danger to anyone and no danger to ourselves, to having to re-enter society at the point when the lockdown had come into place. Things had started to escalate. I mean, we did a full run. The only time we had to stop was for fuel, which we were pretty frustrated about, so we had to do the whole PPE up, you know, and clean ourselves once that was done. But yeah, essentially we had to go back, and where we are now is fantastic. I can't thank enough for putting us up here, but it is in society, so we're now in a more vulnerable position than we were, but we're maintaining what we were planning in Scotland. We're not going to be going to any shops. Granted, we can't get any water anymore because we're not at the water source, but there is a tap here that we're allowed to use, so water's sorted. And we still have all of the food and all of the prep stuff on board, what we had up there. So we're going to show you, we're not going anywhere. just like we weren't up there before we got forced out of the country, it is not Scotland. I'm not doing this video to say this is what happened in Scotland, they're all bastards. Blah. Scotland itself, I still maintain, is a beautiful country with lovely people, and as I stated, you know, the amount of Scottish people that got in touch to offer help and just condone what was going on was really, really moving, and at a time when it was pretty goddamn scary, we really needed that. And so I thank them, and I thank everyone who messaged, because it really, really did help. We were not in a good place at that time. It's not them that are having a go at people, it's small groups of idiots that are just taking the law into their own hands. So although I say at the moment, don't go up there, you're not welcome. None of us are. If you're part-timer and you're in a house, don't go on holiday. Stupid move. To you full-timers, we get your pain, we know what's going on, and we know how helpless everything is, and hopefully things improve. I know things are starting to get put into place, people are starting to help us out, and to those people I thank you as well. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that because I'm absolutely exhausted. It's been a hell of a couple of days. Things will now start to continue video wise because we can now relax, and I will finally get on to part 3 of the slaphead. I know everyone is having the right old go. I've possibly got more abuse about not pulling my finger out on the slaphead video than the abuse that we got up for going up to Scotland. But barring 2 wires, finishing some trim and touching in some paint, it is basically done up there. So I will sit down because there's all else to do and start editing that up. I hope everyone's okay and not going crazy in this self-isolation, and just, yeah, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.